Yo, yo, yo. What is good, YouTube? What is good, gamers? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you with another live one. Remember to hit that like button, help spread my content to a wider audience. I would appreciate it. Um, if you just checking out this video for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can stay notified when I put out new content. I would appreciate that as well. I'd also like to say welcome to the new subscribers. I picked up a couple of new subscribers. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. And before we get started, I hit a milestone, and I hit a goal. Let me go to my page here. Okay, the comment section is open, so feel free to let it rip. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to comment, whatever. So, anyway, I've been kind of quiet the past few days. Yo, 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 what's up? Man, that dude makes me sick to my stomach, Skip. I mean, I can't deal with that dude. I mean, what up, Vidiot? What up? What's going on? Yeah, that crap gamer, man, that dude, that just is it's just clickbait after clickbait. Just I probably only watched one of his videos probably in the last week, 2 weeks or something like that. It's just the same old shit, mega announcement. Phil Spencer makes huge announcement, all that shit. Just clickbait after clickbait. So, but before I get into today's topic, I do want to acknowledge something. My MLB The Show review is sitting at 302 views. I am pleasantly surprised by that. I never thought of all the videos that I've done, that would be the one that would blow up like that. It took me by surprise. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be on the roundtable tonight, Vidiot. I'm just getting this podcast in right now because for one, I gotta go grocery shopping. I gotta get my cardio in. I gotta jump on the PlayStation VR so I can do that knockout league so I can get my cardio in. I got about 7 pounds to go before I get to where I want to, that dude, Ben Taylor, that dude is something else. Him and he's the worst. I think Colt Eastwood ain't far behind him. There's a couple of other Xbots that I'm not gonna mention, but I don't know. I think they're a little delusional too. I take it you're gonna be on the roundtable tonight, Vidiot. So I will look for you there. So back to my video about the MLB The Show. I never in my wildest dreams thought that video would take off the way it did. Not so much because of whether the video was bad. It's just that once the game released, I expected it to be 8 million review videos on that game. So I just figured my video would just get lost in the shuffle, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So I really appreciate that. Thanks to everyone who's been watching that video. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. I really, really appreciate it. And again, moving forward, I'll do some more review videos on games that I get, when I get them. I may not necessarily get them day one, but I will do review videos as soon as I get them. It's also real quick note. I saw a video, I guess who was it, Game Informer or something like that. I guess they will be releasing the Spider-Man release date tomorrow. And this is coming from Insomniac. So we will get a release date tomorrow for Spider-Man. So, and speculation is that it's probably going to be in June. So if that is the case, you got God of War this month. Ooh, what's the date today? Today is the 3rd. So we got God of War in about 2.5 weeks. We got Detroit Become Human about a month after that. And then if Spider-Man hits in June, then that's boom, boom, boom. You know, 3 blockbusters right there. So I'd imagine a lot of people going to be on their PlayStations over the next 3 months, more so than any of the consoles. Um, what up, Carlos? What up? What up? What up? Yeah, I was just saying. We're also God of War's in 17 days. We also going to get a release date on Spider-Man tomorrow. So we are going to get a concrete release date. I am absolutely excited about it. I cannot wait. You know, I mean, all of them I can't wait for. God of War, Detroit Become Human, all of them. Oh boy, boy. What's up? What's up, Carlos? What's going on, brother? While you're in here, I also wanted to say, give a shout out to Carlos, Ryan the Professional. I appreciate them having me in the podcast last Friday. Also want to give a shout out to Sick Humor. It is agreed. I am an official member of his PlayStation Plus podcast on Sundays, so you can definitely catch me on Sunday. In this podcast, the time is kind of, it's kind of loose. It could be noon Eastern time. It could be 11 a.m. Eastern time. So it's somewhere around that hour. So make sure you catch us on Sundays. Make sure you catch us on the round table tonight. We usually shoot for 8 o'clock, but you know how ghetto time is. Sometimes we get started late, but look for us at 8 o'clock Eastern time. But to be sure that you don't miss it, make sure you are subscribed to King Thrash. Make sure you hit that make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when we go live tonight on the Roundtable Podcast. Oh yeah, work, Carlos. That's what's up, man. I'm hoping to do that podcast with y'all again. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really do. And I'm still, talking to people about getting some guests on here. I want to get a guest on here Thursday. I think it's pretty much a done deal. It's just a matter of me confirming with the guest to make sure he will be free on Thursday, which I will get in contact with him this evening. And if he is if he is available, you do not want to miss Thursday's show. So hopefully I'll get a confirmation tonight. At some point, if it's confirmed, I will mention it at some point on the Roundtable Podcast tonight. I will not mention who my guest is. I will just confirm that I will be having a guest there. So, and like I said, if he is available, you do not want to miss this one. So, wow, what else was I going to talk about? I had a lot of introductory shit. Oh, you work second shift. Yeah, I just I'm back on first shift now, but about a month and a half ago, I was working second shift. It was like 2:30 to no, it was 3:30 to midnight. But we the cleanup crew, so we wasn't getting out of there till about 1. You know how no matter where you work, if you're the last shift at work, you got to close the place down. So if they tell you whatever time they tell you going to get out, you ain't gonna get out till about 45 minutes till after. So you know how that stuff go. But that's what's up. In the immortal words of King Thrash, do what you do. So, I've actually had a couple of topics to talk about, but Google would not let me put them both in there because my title was so long. But I can't think of anything else that I want to add before I get into this topic, so I'll just go ahead and get into this topic. As you see, okay, that's what's up. You in New York? I'm in Michigan, Grand Rapids to be exact. Yeah, so yeah, I love to see New York at least once. I mean, I don't know if I want to deal with all that crazy ass traffic that I hear about and how crowded it is there, but I still love to see it once. So, get into the topic. Like I said, I told y'all Microsoft would not let people out of Game Pass so easily. And I got confirmation of that last night. So, and how this, I had a conversation with, I actually had this conversation with King Thrash on a number of occasions. We talked about Game Pass. We both agree that Microsoft wants to get Game Pass onto every device on the planet. If it were possible, Microsoft would sell Game Pass to aliens. So that's how much they want to sell the shit. Thrash and I also agree that Microsoft will pull some kind of tactic to keep people tied into Game Pass. Where we had the difference in opinion is how they are going to go about doing it. Thrash believed that they are going to release games in pieces, in chapters, and he, and it appears that oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, born and raised in Michigan. I mean, my roots is in Mississippi and Tennessee. That's where my roots are. Where my roots are at. But yeah, I'm born and raised in Michigan. I'm an old cat, born in 1967. Lived in Grand Rapids my whole life. So getting back to what Thrash and I were talking about, he believed that Microsoft was going to release games in pieces, and it appears to have materialized with Sea of Thieves. The game has the majority of the people feel that the game is lacking, and there is a lot of what's the word I want to use? There is a lot of people saying that the game, you only got a piece of the game. So you know what that means. That another piece is coming to try to get people, back on with Game Pass. So it appears King Thrash was right. So my belief was that when Game Pass has those slow periods where they don't have any games that's keeping people involved, people will probably start canceling their Game Pass memberships. And when that happens, they will find out that it will not be an easy task. And it turns out I was right as well. We were both right. And that confirmation came from Jay Wags. He put out a video yesterday explaining, showing you all the bullshit that he had to go through to cancel his Game Pass membership. And it happened exactly the way the situation happened to me when I tried to cancel an Xbox Live membership. He went to his Game Pass, he went into his account on his Xbox. He went to memberships and shit like that. And he went to the Game Pass, and there was no link on there to cancel it. But yet there was all kinds of links to buy it, to purchase it as a gift, to change your payment methods. So the door was wide open for you to come in there. But once you come in there, that door locks behind you, and it is not easy to get out. You say Telltale Games can be a one and done. You can buy the whole game and wait for episodes to come out, or you could be, which I did. I got caught up in that in the Telltales. The first one with the first Batman, I did buy it in pieces because I did like it that much. And but when the second one came out, I guess it just kind of came and went with me. I didn't buy it. So if I do get it, I don't know what the situation is with those Telltale Games. I don't know if this second one is done or not. If it is done at some point, I'll just buy the whole thing and just play it as one game instead of in pieces. So still on my radar is just a lot of other stuff going on right now in terms of games. Right. See, but until let me see, until this, until the Xbox One came along, I never attempted to cancel any of my memberships. So, I mean, even if it's been like that since the OG days, it's still bullshit because they give you all kinds of ways to come in. Like I said, you can buy the shit right then and there. There's a button that says click buy. There's a button that says buy as a gift. There's a button there that says change payment methods. So they're giving you 3 or 4 different ways to come in there, but they're making it hard for you to get out. There's 3 or 4 front doors to walk in, but there's no back door to get out. And once you coming through that front door, it locks on you. And I knew it was gonna happen like that. That's so anyway, you pretty much said it. That's the way it happened to me. I had bought 1 month memberships. I forgot about it after 1 month, and I got charged for a second month. So when the second month, before the second month was about to expire, um, yeah, I agree too, Ben. So before the second month was about to expire, I went to go cancel it. I went to my subscriptions in my account, and I saw everything on there except how to cancel it. So if memory serves me right, um, I ended up going to the Microsoft website and I still couldn't find it. So I ended up having to call a friend, and he ended up walking me through where to after, peeling off all those layers of bullshit, to get to the cancel option. And so I canceled that 1 month membership. That's not the only bullshit that Microsoft pulls. Another time, I was living off of those 3 month Xbox Live memberships. I was buying, 3 months run out, I buy another one. 3 months run out, I buy another one. So I had did this like 3 or 4 times. Well, this on the third or fourth time, whichever one it was, the 3 month membership was about to run out, and I had 2 more 3 month memberships that I was about to use. It would not let me. The Xbox, Xbox Live would not let me use those 3 months memberships. I typed in the code for both of them, and it would not accept either of those codes. So I was forced to turn around and buy a 1 year membership. That led me to believe that like those 3 month memberships, they're only going to let you use so many of them before they force you to buy a 1 month membership or keep going month to month. Because once, month to month, they're getting the most money out of it that way. But I'm sure they'd rather you buy the 1 year membership so they can get that 50, $60 right then and there. So that is what happened to Jay Wags. He had to go through all that bullshit. He had to go through the Microsoft website and had to go through layers and layers of bullshit before he got to the cancel option on his Game Pass subscription. So he ended up shutting off the auto renew so he doesn't get cracked when his 14-day trial was up. So I knew that was going to happen. So both Thrash and I was right. That's nothing new. That's what they do. That's how they function. And so let me see. I got to keep my eye on the clock today. How long has this stream been going on? 17 minutes. Already been on 17 minutes. Okay. So the other thing that I was going to add, the other topic that I was going to talk about, but it would not let me, type it in the headline because it was made for a very long title. Is about the Game Pass. A lot of people have their opinions about how Game Pass came to fruition. There are those who believe that Game Pass came about because gamers were not supporting Microsoft, so they had to do something, almost like it was out of desperation. They had to do something. That's what some people feel. At first, I originally believed that it was both the gamers' fault and Microsoft's fault, because I felt like the gamers were not supporting Microsoft, but at the same time, Microsoft was not giving them a reason to support the brand. Because how many times you have to hear it? What have they done over the last 2, 3, 4 years in terms of exclusives? So I had a video out where I said it was both of their fault. But now that I stop and look at it, when I stop and look at the entire big picture, you could not have stopped Game Pass. It was going to happen regardless. Whether gamers supported Microsoft or not, it was going to happen. Why do I believe that? If you go back and look at this generation, that makes you wonder why they would do that. They would get more money from month to month. I don't get why they would do that. I think they wanted the month to month thing because with the $50 subscription, like I said, they're getting the $50, $60 from you right then and there. with the month-to-month subscriptions, the only way to get the month-to-month subscriptions, I believe, is to subscribe to Xbox Live through the dashboard. And when it's time to cancel it, for those who are not aware of how Microsoft functions, they are going to have a hard time trying to get out of those Xbox Live memberships. So yes, I think Microsoft definitely would prefer somebody get the month-to-month memberships, because what are they, $9-10 a month plus $10 a month for Game Pass? It's $20 out of you right then and there, $20 a month. So going back to why I think Game Pass was going to happen anyway, when you stop and look at what Microsoft's vision was for this generation, with the original Xbox, it seemed like all they were trying to do was just get their name out there, and get everybody buzzing about the Xbox. The original Xbox, I think they shut the support off on the original Xbox prematurely. The original Xbox only sold 24 million units, and Microsoft shut down support on the original Xbox too soon, in my opinion, to try to force everybody to upgrade to a 360. Now, the 360 is when as far as how long Microsoft has been in gaming, no matter how much they talk shit about trying to go after Sony or trying to beat Sony or something like that, the 360 generation is the only time they really went after Sony. They got that console out a year early. It was $400 less. They had games. And I think, I believe that Microsoft has declared themselves the winner of that generation. Now, you fast forward to this generation. When this generation first started, Microsoft was not trying to beat Sony. They tried to make everybody think, the hardcore people, they tried to make them think that they were going after Sony, because the hardcore toxic people, you don't have to give them games. All you have to do is reassure them that you're still trying to beat Sony, and they are going to stick around. They will not leave. I think the hardcore toxic fanboys are the only ones who will not leave Microsoft if they were to have a shitty E3 this year. No, I agree, Skip. They did not win any generations, but I think Microsoft will try to declare themselves the winner of the 360 generation, because they led for most of that generation. At least here in North America, they led for most of that generation. And I think by the time the PlayStation caught up to them, it was nearing the end of that generation. So Microsoft probably say, okay, it's over. We're moving on to the next one. We're the winners, So I think that was the approach that they had. But anyway, getting back to this generation and what their vision was, think about it. Microsoft, they said they wanted to try to get the Xbox into the living rooms of everyone, not just gamers. They try to create an all-in-one media device, an all-in-one entertainment device. Whatever kind of man cave you got laid out at your home, they wanted the Xbox to be the hub of all the devices that makes that man cave. So they were trying to go after everybody. They were trying to go after the casual gamers. I said it before, it was a bad move. It backfired. Trying to go after the casual gamer is a tough task, because the casual gamers usually have a casual mentality, not just when it comes to games. They have a casual mentality, and they bounce around to different shit because they only get involved in it casually. Whatever, say for instance, for recreation, this week they might want to shoot pool. Next week they might want to go bowling. The next week they might want to go to an amusement park. That is the casual person, that they don't do the same shit every week. So they show us the fuck, was not going to play video games day in and day out because of the casual mentality. And that is the mistake that Microsoft made, because they were trying to go after the casual people. They were trying to go after everybody. The casual audience is the biggest audience. If you can rope them in, sure, you can get paid, but it is tough to keep them stimulated, to keep them interested in your brand. And so the casual gamer was not definitely the casual gamer was not going to buy the Xbox One at launch. Not with especially with a $500 price tag. You know, they might not know shit about games because if they're a casual gamer, they wouldn't be keeping up with what kind of games Microsoft might have to start the generation off. You know, a casual gamers, to define the casual gamers, we're going into the 5th year of this generation, and the casual gamers are just now getting around to buying a console because it is at a casual person's price. The casual gamer would not have bought a PS4 at launch. They would not have bought an Xbox One at launch. They buy the shit near the end of the generation when the price comes down to the point where you can, you know, recycle cans and bottles and shit like that and get enough money to buy one. The casual gamer buys a console when the price comes down to around $200. By that time, the generation is just about over and the buzz is starting about the new generation this is about to get started. So with that being said, Microsoft made a huge mistake going after those people. But they are trying it again because that is their vision. They are going after the whole shebang. They are going after everybody. And that's what Game Pass is about. Game Pass is not out of desperation. Game Pass was not created because they were, you know, desperate because nobody was supporting them, and you know, or whatever, or whether Microsoft as a company was, you know, cutting funding for the Xbox brand. I don't think any of that had to do with Game Pass. Game Pass was going to happen because of their vision. Their vision is to go after everybody on the planet. They are trying to get Game Pass on every single device. And I said it before, if Microsoft could do it, they would sell Game Pass to Martians. So when you stop and look at it, when the Xbox first came out, they tried to go after everybody by drawing them into the Xbox ecosystem. That did not work. So this time, instead of trying to bring everybody to Microsoft, Microsoft is going to everyone else. Instead of trying to bring them to Xbox, Xbox is going to them by way of their devices, by the phones, by other consoles, by PC. And I believe by way of like a Fire Stick type device. That is the vision. That is what Game Pass is all about. Microsoft is taking another crack at something that failed, trying to go after the casual gamer, trying to go after the entire audience that backfired when the Xbox One X first came out. This is not a case of Microsoft learning their lesson. They are determined to get the entire whole kit and caboodle. Game Pass isn't out of desperation because they, you know, funding might have been cut. Game Pass isn't out of desperation because, you know, gamers weren't supporting it. This was their vision right from the start. Now, the fucked up part about all this is that they're still keeping their fan base, they're still keeping their user base tied into their ecosystem by making all these promises and rumors and leaks. You know, with the toxic fanboys, I said it before. You don't have to give them shit. You don't have to give them a game. You don't have to give them features. All you have to do is keep the promise that you're going to try to beat Sony. And that is enough for the toxic fanboys. They might not be interested. They are not interested in what games might be coming out. They are not interested. They do not care about the lack of exclusives. They do not care about these little petty features that Microsoft has, like Kodi and and this Avatar shit that's coming up. They do not care about any of that. All they care about is that Microsoft is trying to beat Sony, and it is evident this generation is over. Whatever dreamland is still living in about the console war, it is over, but they refuse to let it die. And it is evident with the Xbox One X. Of course he gonna lie, but I said, of course Crap Gamer's gonna lie, but I said it before. I think his days are numbered. I think he's only gonna have about 3, 4, 5 years left because it probably won't happen right now, but I do think eventually Sony will relent. And I think when Microsoft gets out of the console business for good, and they go to strictly software, I mean, then it might be a little bit easier to do business with Microsoft when they're not directly competing with you anymore. With that being said, I do eventually think that it may take 4 or 5 years for it to happen, but I do think eventually Sony will let Game Pass on to the PlayStation Network, onto the PlayStation platform. When that happens, what is Crap Gamer going to do? He will have no console to brag about because Microsoft will be completely out of the console business. I mean, what is he going to brag about? An Xbox Fire Stick? That's not going to be anything to brag about because the same games that's going to be available on that Xbox Fire Stick, that Xbox Steam Box, the Xbox Two, whatever iteration of it is, I will have those same games available to me on my preferred platform. So what is he going to be bragging about? He going to look like a stupid ass idiot, Okay, a store like Walmart, he might, brag that, Walmart has great tasting Gatorade. So goddamn what? Target has Gatorade too. What's your point? That's how Crap Gamer is going to look when Game Pass comes to the PlayStation. When he goes shooting his mouth off about what they got. What's going to be his point? So his days are numbered. Him, Colt Eastwood, all these other delusional fanboys, their days are numbered. I think that's one of the reasons why Zaire woke up. When Game Pass reaches all these devices, even if Game Pass reaches all these devices, I still think it's going to be an uphill battle because they're going to be competing with a lot of shit. Over on the PC network, they're going to be dealing with they're going to be dealing with Steam. I think Ubisoft, if they don't have a full-blown gaming service, they're working on it. There's EA Access out there. I think there's another streaming service called Utomic on the way on PC that's supposed to have over 700 games. There's still Google. We still don't know what shape or form they are going to take as far as the gaming industry goes, but we know they are going to get in it. Microsoft is going to have his work cut out for him, but they are still looking at the ultimate prize, and that is to get everybody on the planet. So when this generation started, moving forward, I don't think Microsoft is going to give up on the plan of trying to get everybody. If Game Pass, in some aspect, the Xbox One failed. It did not fail in terms of the hardcore gamers. It did not fail, but it failed in terms of what they were trying to do. It failed in terms of trying to get the hardcore, the casual gamers. It failed in that aspect. Game Pass could very well fail depending on what Microsoft does. If Game Pass makes it to smartphones and shit like that, those games are going to have to be free to play because there's no way on this damn earth people are going to pay $60 to play a game on a smartphone. I sure as the hell wouldn't. But if Game Pass fails, Microsoft is not going to give up on trying to go after the whole kit and caboodle. Microsoft is not going to try to give up on going after everybody on the planet. They will think of another plan and they will try it again. So that was really the basis of what I wanted to talk about. But I didn't want to do two separate podcasts, and it wouldn't let me put both subjects, in the title space because my title was too long. Um, but yeah, there you have it. I knew it was gonna be a bunch of bullshit trying to get out of Game Pass. It's the same bullshit you got to go through to try to get out of Xbox Live. Um, it is what it is. One of the things that I'm curious about, and this is a question that I plan to ask one of my guests. And this will probably tip off who my guest will probably be. But so since it appears that Microsoft is going to release their games in pieces, so we know another piece of Sea of Thieves is going to be coming out at some point. I am curious if Microsoft will try to release, let's say, whatever the next piece of Sea of Thieves is. I am wondering if Microsoft will try to release it right around the time that the God of War launches to try to piss on that parade. I don't think it would work, but I'm curious. If they come out with DLC on Sea of Thieves maybe 3 or 4 days before God of War launches, I think everybody gonna be like, Sea of who? Game what? I don't think the shit would work, but I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to try it. So, but I will admit, that was a calculated move on Sony's part to show that God of War gameplay right before Sea of Thieves launched. I admit, I think that was a calculated move on their part. It worked. It is what it is. It's dog eat dog out there. So, been on for about 37 minutes. Hey, Ben Talon, I'm not joking about the Fire Stick thing. I've said it before on more than one occasion. I think the Xbox 2 will be an oversized Fire Stick. I think it may be a device that will be significantly smaller than the Xbox One X. I think it will not have a disk drive. I think it will only have just enough memory to function. If it has a hard drive, I think it will have minimal space, because I believe that by the time the Xbox 2, you say you're probably going to get one, you probably better do your research before you jump up and get one, because I really think that the Xbox 2 is going to be centered around cloud gaming. And if that is the case, you may not be able to play anything unless you have an internet connection. Because a good internet connection is going to be the bloodline of cloud gaming. So if you got a shitty internet connection, or you somebody that, feel like the internet ain't a big deal to you or something like that, I think you probably better do your homework on the Xbox 2 when it comes out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Sony has for the PlayStation 5. I doubt that I'm like 99% sure that the PlayStation 5 won't be some kind of streaming device. I'm still sure that PlayStation Now will probably still be an option, even though it may still be crap. But for the most part, we already heard about the specs, the rumored specs of the PlayStation. So it sounds like it's going to be a monster. That sounds like it sounds like the graphics and the resolution and shit like that's probably going to be incredible. Just the question is will they be able to hit 60 frames on these games? But one thing's for certain, The PlayStation 5 is a day one purchase for me. The Xbox 2, yo, Emmy Khan, what's going on? The the Xbox 2, whatever form it comes in, that is not on my radar. That is not a day one purchase. That is not a month one purchase. It is not a year one purchase. It is probably a no purchase. I don't Sony's got the momentum right now. They murdering Xbox. That's all to it. That's what's up. Y'all good? Just chilling? Shoot, you 5 hours ahead of us. So by the time we have the roundtable podcast, I'm guessing you'll probably be asleep. Because if we get started on time, that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. And with you being 5 hours ahead of us, that'll be 1 in the morning your time. So I'd imagine you'll be asleep. If you're not able to catch the roundtable podcast when it's live, make sure you catch it tomorrow. I don't know what the topics are going to be tonight, but I can make a pretty good guess what some of the topics are going to be. And I think one of the topics is probably going to be the aftermath of a ridiculous statement that came out of a YouTuber's mouth on a podcast this past weekend, referring to God of War and people who like those type of games. Everyone who knows about that statement thinks it is one of the most dumbest and ridiculous things they've ever heard. I'd like to think that might be one of the topics tonight. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to mention any names. I only go so far when I mention names on YouTube. If I mention somebody's name, it is for a reason. You know, we know people like Crap Gamer. He's not good for YouTube. He's not good for gaming. I guess if Zaire hadn't flipped the script, I probably wouldn't be mentioning him either. But, you know, he appears to have, seen the light. So, and the only reason why I have been mentioning his name is because of how much he's been getting attacked for it, because only that community is so toxic. The PlayStation community would not attack him like that if he if he were to flip the script. Take One Stop for Gaming, for instance. He was absolutely infuriated with Sony because his I think his daughter's account got banned, and that meant that they lost all their digital purchases. And he lost all the games that was on his PlayStation because he was sharing with his daughter. He was infuriated, and he said, "I'm going to the Xbox, woo, woo, woo." And nobody from the Sony community attacked him. So I haven't been following him that much. I don't know if he's been getting attacked, but yeah, he's pretty much coming back to the PlayStation. He said he's going to buy a Pro. He's excited about the exclusives that are coming out. I don't know, let me see. If they make the PS5 backwards compatible, game over before it starts. I'm from London, so it will be late, but I will try to make it. Oh, I'm getting God of War, so I guess I'm a psycho. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. That's probably going to be one of the subjects tonight on the Roundtable podcast. So if you don't catch it tonight live, make sure you catch it tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that is going to be one of the topics tonight, because everybody that knows about it knows that it is one of the, most ridiculous things ever said. It's shit spreading across YouTube like wildfire. Now, the person that he said it to handled him like a champ. He dealt with him like a champ and, exposed him for how stupid he was. But he tries to play that slick game, Crap Gamer. We all know that his subscribers are mindless sheep. And so no matter what he puts out, he's going to get the views on it. But when I guess when he wants to get more views, then he's going to make that one video where he's banging on Microsoft, where he's ridiculing him. And that actually, I think, gets some more views whenever he makes a video banging on Microsoft, because it draws in the anti-crap gamer people to see what he's talking about. So it's almost like a pattern. He's gonna do like 4 or 5 good videos praising Microsoft. Then he's gonna have that one video where he's acting like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on? What are they doing? I don't get it." He's gonna act like he's dumbfounded. And that's how he ropes in the other people. Yeah, I heard about I heard about that too. And I was like, man, I mean, that that situation made me realize just how delusional some people in the Xbox community are. Not all of them, some of them. I think people like Xbox Vidiot, who was just in here in the chat. I think he's a purist. He enjoys his Xbox. He does not talk shit about Sony. He doesn't get caught up in this console war. He's enjoying his console. But at the same time, he's no fool. He knows what's going on with Microsoft. He's not trying to act blind to it. I had him as a guest on my show last week, and and he said, yeah, they got a problem over there. There's no games, so. But he's a purist, on the Xbox side. I have a lot of respect for him. I always say what's on my mind in terms of Microsoft, but it's never directed at him. Robin Hood's home. So yeah, so we'll see what the next move is. So we got today's the 3rd, so we've got 17 days and counting for God of War. I'm excited about the game, but I have enough games to keep me busy until then. The cultists, they do. And they do make the Xbox look toxic. And I've said that before, that I'm 51 years old. At least I'll be 51 next month. And so I've been around. I pretty much watched the evolution of video games from the very start. So in the last 10, 15 years, things have happened in the gaming industry that it was just tough for me to get adjusted to. Paid DLC, microtransactions, console wars, toxic fanboys, damage control. I mean, I never thought in my wildest days this would be the state of gaming. When my parents first gave me my first console, you know what? Give me a second here. Let me see if I can pull that up. See if I can find this thing. This it was something along those lines. Believe this thing came out in 1977. So give me a second, because I'm going to share my screen with you in a second and show you the first video game console that my parents gave me. I definitely know this console. Let me see here. Telestar is a series of video game consoles produced by Coleco from 1976 to 1978. Okay, so I'll probably say we might have got our first console in 1977, which had me at 10 years old at the time. So now I'm gonna show you my I'm gonna share my screen with you and show you the very first console that I got. Right here. Vintage Coleco Telestar Colormatic video game system with hockey, tennis, handball. And see, the thing about it is it was all hashes. Um, wait a minute. I think I saw that might be the one we had right there, but I'm not sure. But this one right here, this Telestar right here, this is the gaming console that my parents gave us. This was the first gaming console I had. The only difference was these paddles right here. They did not come out. They were permanently fixed to the console. So we had a very long cord, and we had to bring the console to the bed, to the couch, wherever we were playing. No, that's not ColecoVision. That's Telestar. That came out, I just looked it up. It came out in 1976, and I believe my parents gave us one a year later. And the one we had was solid black. So let me go back. I forgot that I'm still screen sharing. Go back and look at this thing. So you see the four choices you have right there. Let me put my cursor on it right there. You got tennis, hockey, handball, and highlight. I believe that's what it's called. And the only difference, like beginner, intermediate, and pro, the difference was how fast that dot moved across the screen. Those paddles, you turn them from left to right, and then there was a white hash mark that moved up and down, just like I'm showing you. And then as the white dot goes across the screen, you move your hash mark to try to meet that ball and send it to your opponent's side. That was the first video game console that I got. I was 10 years old. 41 years ago. And like I said, the state of gaming today, now in terms of graphics and power and stuff like that, gaming has come so far. I mean, a lot of games, both on both the Xbox One X and the PlayStation Pro, a lot of those games look gorgeous, and it's only going to get better when the next generation starts. But so for better or for worse, the video game industry is I'm like taken aback by where we're at today in terms of the fan, in terms of the console wars, the toxicity. But I'm also amazed by how good some of these games look. And so you can understand, after looking at this console, you can understand that when I move on to the next generation, I don't look back. So when this generation started, let me go back over here. You send one of those, Ben? Yeah, I mean that's the console that plays tennis. Yes, all it is like two white hash marks on opposite sides of the court, and a white dot is the ball. And so you just meeting that dot and sending it back to the other side of the court. Now, when you turn it on pro, that dot moves super fast. Hey, when I got one of those, I was a kid in a candy store. My parents also bought me an Atari 2600. They bought me the Atari 5200. Now, when the Atari 5200 came out, I was totally amazed by that console. That was the first console that I had that felt like gaming was going to the next level in terms of graphics. And that's another thing about consoles now. When I was a kid, all the consoles came with a game. The Atari 2600 came with Combat. The Atari 5200 came with Pac-Man. The ColecoVision that I believe came out in I want to say 1980, 1981 or something like that. That came with Donkey Kong. I believe the Nintendo Entertainment System came with Duck Hunt that had the gun where shoot down the ducks on your television screen. When the Sega Genesis first launched, I'm not sure it came with a game, but by the time I bought one, it came with Sonic. So I don't know if that was something that was from the start or not. So when consoles stopped coming with games, that was something that took me by surprise. Now Game Boy, I was kind of, let me see, what year did the Game Boy come out? Anybody know what time? Anybody know when the Game Boy came out? So I guess to put it to you this way, I think the Sega Genesis, I had that console around 1990, which in 1990 I was 23 years old. Hmm. Even in the late 80s. So my point being is that I'd probably say um in 19 around 1985, like when I was in high school, I was slowly losing interest in video games because I was out there chasing girls and shit like that. And so the Sega Genesis was the last console I had bought, and then I was out of video games. I didn't play video games. I didn't come back to gaming until I bought the Sega Saturn. And the only reason why I bought that was I had a friend who was blue lighting them. It's crazy. That's a crazy story. He knew this chick that was going into the store that was stealing them. The chick was stealing the consoles. Um, he was buying them from her for like $100, and then he was turning around and flipping them on the street for 200. And that's how I ended up getting my Sega Saturn. In the case, um, in his case, um, I didn't have the $200. I had a spoiler on my car that used to be his, and he wanted the spoiler back. So he gave me the Sega Saturn in exchange for the spoiler that was on my car, so he could put it back on his. And then I don't know, I guess like maybe a year after that, I finally broke down and bought the original PlayStation. See, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't into that because I was out in them streets chasing women. That's crazy though. Here my son is 12 years old, and I think like a couple of years ago he was asking me to get him a Nintendo 64 and a GameCube because he was so deep into Nintendo that he wanted me to go out and get him every Nintendo device. Um as far as like those Nintendo DLs or whatever, shit, he had about 5 of them. His mother bought him one, then I bought him one. And then the one that his mother bought him, he thought it took a crap. He thought it stopped working. So I bought him a third one. And then for his birthday, I asked him what he wanted for his birthday, and then Nintendo had just came out with the DSL, the DLXL, whatever, the big one. So I got him that, and then his stepbrother gave him the 2D the 2D whatever, the handheld. So he had 5 of those things. I got him a Wii, got him a Wii U, got him a Switch, which he doesn't even touch anymore because he plays Roblox all the time. Yeah, exactly. But I think every one of us, anybody in here that's over 30 years old, I think they went through a stretch from like between 18 and 27 years old. I think that was probably the age where they weren't that much into video games. They was probably out in the streets doing whatever they was doing. You gonna go find Doc Brown and go back to the 90s? I think the 90s is probably um is where that was probably the period where rap music was where I still liked it. Um that I think around the mid 90s it started to change and eventually evolved into whatever this shit is supposed to be today. I'm not into rap music the way I used to, you know. I'm not into these dudes wearing skinny jeans down to the ankles, so you know, Ben, I only had one game on the PS1, and that was Tekken. That was the only reason why I bought it. I had the Sega Saturn, and I had Virtual Fighter, which I loved that game. I played that game so much. And then I played like Sega, like they had like a NASCAR racing, but it was a Sega game. I had a bunch of games on my Sega Saturn. But yeah, the Tupac was straight. Tupac was straight. Um so I had a Sega Saturn, but my friend that I was telling you about, how he was getting a hold of these stolen consoles and he was selling them. He had both Sega Saturns and PS1s for sale. And um, so I came over to his place one day and I seen him playing Tekken, and I was like, man, this looked like some bullshit. And then after playing it a couple of times, it just grew on me. I eventually liked Tekken more than I liked Virtual Fighter. So by the time I decided that I was going to buy a PS1, my friend didn't have any more. He was all sold out. And then I guess like demand had outweighed supply. That just you couldn't find any PlayStations out there. So I did the one thing that made me absolutely sick to my stomach. I went to GameStop, which back then they were still called the Electronic Boutique. I went to GameStop and I bought a used PlayStation, which was only like $30 cheaper than a brand new one. So GameStop, even back when it was called Electronic Boutique, was pulling some bullshit way back then. But I wanted to play Tekken so bad that I went ahead and paid that price. I think I ended up paying like $270 for a used PS1. And then to make it even worse, it was one of the launch PS1s, one of the first ones that came out. If anybody remembers those original PlayStations, you had to turn them upside down because after a while, sometimes the games would freeze. When you would play some games, they would freeze, and you had to turn the console upside down. Oh yeah, definitely. Congratulations. Um gaming and gaming and working out are my two passions. They are also my escape. Um I have a bad day at work or something like that and I feel like killing somebody, somebody at work pissed me off and I want to, break their damn neck or something like that. I go to the gym and get that aggression out. Once I get that aggression out, I come home and jump on the PlayStation. That's my passion. That's my escape. I love working out. I love gaming. Um, so seeing how seeing how I feel like how Microsoft has kind of tainted the industry, because of entities like them, gaming is nothing like what it was when I was a kid. And everything that I thought gaming would never be, Microsoft has taken it down that road. It's funny that you mentioned Imicon that you're cutting at the moment because I'm not exactly cutting, but I'm not gonna lie, like take this picture of me right here that you see right here. In this picture was taken about maybe a year ago, year and a half ago. And at the time this picture was taken, I was 225 pounds, but I also had a slight belly. And so no doubt, no doubt. So, I went on a diet and I dropped 27 pounds. I went from 225 pounds to 198 pounds. Now I looked good. The abs was starting to show up, but I did not like how small I got because when you lose weight, you don't just lose it in one area, you lose it over the entire body. And so I didn't like how small I got. I looked good, but I didn't like how small I got. So I had put some of the weight back on and jumped back up to about 215 pounds. But a little bit of the thanks. Now my traps, I'm not gonna lie, my traps are still this, they're not that defined right now. They're still somewhat big, but they're not that defined right now because I haven't been working on them that much because I've been putting in a lot of time on hold on a second here. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. So just a second. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Um okay. So let me pull up these pictures. Um this picture right here was taken about maybe about 9, 10 months ago. And then let me see. Here's what I look like. Here's another picture of me when I was 225 pounds, and you can see that my face is kind of fat. And so, I'm trying to hide it, but there is a little bit of a belly down there. Um, you see this picture right here. Um, that's when I was on the diet. I was an even 200 pounds in this picture. That's the abs started showing and stuff like that. But I looked good, but I had lost some size and I didn't really care for it. So I started putting the weight back on. And let me see. This picture was taken, I want to say about 5, 6 months ago. And then this picture right here is what this picture was taken about a month ago. So this is my most recent picture. So this is the closest to what I look like right now, but my body's been changing because I was hitting the weights heavy and then I turned around and flipped it and went on the diet. So I'm trying to I'm not exactly cutting. I'm just trying to get the stomach a little more flat. Let's see. Am I able to stop sharing? I hope y'all was able to see it. Yeah, no doubt. Emmy Con, was you able to see any of those pictures that I posted? Um, that's basically my journey. Okay, I want to make sure it let me share those pictures. So for the most part, I still look the same. Like, for the most part, this picture that I'm showing you right now, for the most part, I'm still the same size. Um, as I was in this picture here, is just my traps they're not as defined right now. Um, if you see me with a t-shirt on, you'll still see that I got traps underneath the shirt. Um, but they're not gonna bulge the way they did here. Not to mention that this picture right here, I was in the gym, so my traps was like nice and swollen. My traps was on fire because I had just got done putting out a crazy ass workout. So so for the most part, like I said, I got traps. They just not that cut right now. But I've been working on them again. They will get back there. Um, but I love working out. It's my passion. Let me see. Abs just started showing. You need to lose another 10 pounds. Um, right now, if you work out, then I'm sure you're aware of that the diet is the biggest part of it. Um, so I flipped, my diet, and I've been eating Caesar salads and chicken breasts at night before I go to bed. And so that's it. Emmy Khan, do you have a PlayStation VR? I agree, Ben. I think the abs are the hardest ones. The reason why I was asking you if you had a PlayStation VR, um, naturally, you need to get your cardio in. Um, so you taking in 1,500 calories at the moment. Well, I said it before in some videos that the average person burns about 1,600 and 20 calories a day. So with you taking in 1,500, um, if you're not going to lower how many calories you're taking in, you're probably going to do some more cardio. You're probably going to step your cardio game up. So that brings me to why I was asking you if you had a PlayStation VR. I said it before. Let's face it, going to the gym and walking on a treadmill is boring. Going outside and going for a walk. See, now listen to what I'm about to tell you. You do 45 minutes incline walking. Do you know how many calories do you burn? Do you know how many calories you burn when you do that the incline walking? So exactly. That's where I was going with this, Ben, about the two birds with the one stone. On the PlayStation VR, I have that game, Knockout League, which I made a video of that. So check it out when you get a second. Um, but I had a PlayStation VR. There's a game on there called Knockout League. It is a boxing game. Yeah, it's a car. It is a kind of a goofy, arcade type game. But um, I play that game, and after each match, because you got to throw punches, you have to duck, you have to move from side to side to avoid punches, you have to duck to avoid punches, and after each fight, up in the corner, it will show you how many calories you burned. And I probably say last week when I got my cardio in on Knockout League, I had two fights. The first fight burned 123 calories. The second fight burned 111 calories. So that was what 100 and 130 200 and 33 34 calories. I did that in 6 minutes because I had two fights. Both of those fights lasted about 3 minutes apiece. I burned 234 calories in like 6, 7, 8 minutes. So the point I'm making there is, the next time you catch one of those PlayStation VRs on sale, grab one, get one, get that game Knockout League, and that's your cardio right there. Four, I'll probably say 3 or 4 fights at 3 minutes apiece. That's the equivalent of that 45-minute walk you're doing in terms of burning calories. Yeah, yeah, definitely. They did have a permanent price drop. I know over in the UK, it's like I don't know how you pronounce your money, but it's like E349 or something like that. Um, But if they, over in Europe, if they have sales over on the PSVR the way they do here, they have sales, frequently. They have sales like once a month, once every other month or something like that. And I know here in the States, you don't even have to wait until Sony has an official sale to get one. You can go to the Walmart website at any given time and get a PlayStation VR for $200. So you don't have to wait until they're on sale before you get one. Yeah, but how fun is skipping? That's what I was saying with that with the knockout league. Okay, UK money is pounds. So in any case, whatever it is, um pounds, liters, gallons, whatever, however you pronounce your money, get one of those PlayStation VRs the next time they're on sale. Even if I wasn't advocating it for cardio purposes, I would still be, pushing I would still be pushing you to get a VR, because I think it's PlayStation is supporting the VR, is going to be around for a while. Yeah, I never messed around with that iToy. There's a lot of games. Bro, do you know the YouTube fitness scene? There's a dude called Jason Blaha. I swear he's a crap gamer or YouTube fitness. I don't watch that stuff because everybody's different. And then some of these dudes, like you just, alluded to, you don't know if these dudes is doing shit for views. I know one time on Yahoo, I saw an article where a guy claimed he put on what did he claim? He claimed he put on like 25 pounds of muscles in like 30 days. And so I went to click on the article to read to see how he supposedly put on 25 pounds of muscle in 30 days. It turns out that he was trying to sell a book. So he, when I read the article, he was trying to sell a book. So if you wanted to know the secret, you had to buy the book. But I don't give a damn. If you're not taking steroids, and other kind of like growth hormones or whatever, realistically, a pure muscle, you can only put on about 10 pounds of pure muscle a year. You can put on more than 10 pounds, but muscle without any supplements, steroids and shit like that, you can only put on about 10 pounds of muscle a year. So I know that shit, and that's why I don't listen to a lot of these dudes on YouTube, a lot of these fitness dudes. I will watch a video every now and then, if they got some arm exercises to try to make your arms bigger. I got some good size arms, but I wouldn't mind them being a little bit bigger. So it's 5:30 or 20 after 5. So I think I'll shut it down in a few minutes because like I said, I still got to get my cardio in on the PlayStation VR. And then I still got to go shopping and go pick up some lettuce and stuff like that so I can get my salads together. But again, sorry that y'all ain't going to be able to catch it live, but make sure y'all catch the Roundtable podcast tomorrow. It's going to be some hot shit. People who are on steroids are doomed to have health problems. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, cool. If you catch it live, great. I don't know what Crap Gamer is going to say when this year's E3 is done. because I still don't know what they're going to do for E3. There's a part of me that thinks that they're going to show some trailers for games that's going to be coming up in the next generation, because I am definitely convinced there is not going to be any more AAA exclusives coming out of Microsoft this generation. All these leaks and rumors and shit like that, all these games that they talking about that's supposed to be on the way, that's for the next generation. Everybody pretty much knows that. Everybody, the general belief is that a lot of this shit that they talking about is going to be for the next generation. So, with that being said, it's very well possible that Microsoft could have a good E3. They could show a lot of shit, even though it's going to be stuff that I think is going to be geared towards the next generation. But I can still call them out on that because, Phil said they're not going to talk about shit that's going to be 2-3 years out. And I'm pretty much convinced that if they show shit that's geared towards the next generation, it's going to be shit that's not going to be coming out for 2-3 years. Yeah, they've been saying wait till E3 for about 4 years now, but I think this is the year they really have to do something, or they're going to lose a lot of people. Like I said, the only people that won't leave them are the toxic fanboys, because, like I said, you don't have to give them shit. Here, I'll type my PSN in the comments right here because it'd be easier to just show you rather than say it. That is my PSN gamer tag. But make sure you leave a message. If you send me a friend request, make sure you send me a message with it, because like this YouTube thing is new to me, especially having my friends on my PlayStation friends list, because of all the toxicity and all the crazy shit that gets said on Xbox Live and stuff like that. I stopped talking to people and had stopped accepting. I definitely don't accept any friend requests over on the Xbox. If I don't know them, I don't. If I don't know an invite is coming from, I don't accept it. But on a PlayStation, send me a request. Just throw a little note with it. Let me know it's you. Now accept it. Now, no, we're already friends. Oh, okay, yeah, we friends already on Emicon. We already friends on the PlayStation. But as far as games goes, I said it before. In some ways, I'm a hardcore gamer in the sense that I game every single day. But in a sense, I'm also a casual gamer in a sense that I don't finish a lot of the games that I start. A lot of it is because of shit like what I'm doing right now. I'm playing a lot of MLB The Show, playing online, playing online head to head. I'm playing a lot of Gran Turismo right now, a lot of GT Sport, and doing the daily races, because that's a lot of fun. So those are the two games that I'm playing right now, and not only are they fun, I cannot get enough of looking at those games, how breathtaking they are. With the HDR, it just makes the colors pop. In those games, I just cannot get enough of looking at them. So with that being said, ooh, I think when God of War comes out this month, I think it might be the best looking game on the PlayStation, but I think that's only going to last until Spider-Man comes out, or even Detroit Become Human, because those games look amazing too. Stupid thing about Crap Gamer Skip is that this dude make all these videos praising the Xbox and talking shit about the PlayStation, and half his damn videos he uses Horizon Zero Dawn is his gameplay video. He supposedly has a PlayStation VR. He admitted that. You know, they talk all that shit. Him and Code Eastwood, you know, and then you know, Code Eastwood tried to do something slick. He had been praising the he had been praising Xbox for God knows how long, and he kind of talked shit about the PlayStation, but he tried to make it sound professional because his videos do sound professional. But he turned around and bought a PlayStation about a month ago, and so now he talking about the best of both worlds when he was talking shit about the PlayStation. So him and Crap Gamer can get out of here. But I bet you Cash Money, both of them gonna be owning PS5s. So we at 5:30. Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting pinched for time. So yes, I'm definitely gonna have to wrap this up in a few minutes. So actually, I'm really glad this is actually one of the goals that I set out for when I started my YouTube channel. Um I'm not about this monetization shit. You know, I'm a really small channel. Um when I started my YouTube channel, like me, I can talk about gaming. I can talk your damn ears off about gaming. And and that was one of my goals when I started my YouTube channel, was to be able to have enough subscribers that I can carry on a conversation like this in the comments like we doing right now. And so I really appreciate y'all, you know, chiming in, talking to me in the comments. I really appreciate that. So I mean, I really appreciate it. Um, you know, the current state of gaming right now, um, while it's true that I don't like Microsoft as a company, I had a bad experience with them during the Red Ring phase, or the Red Ring of Death. I had a brand new Xbox. They called the Red Ring, and I sent it in for repairs. And they sent me back an Xbox that looked like it came out of a junkyard, and the thing didn't even work. And they wanted to charge me for it. Okay. I'm taking it that was you. I'm taking it that's you, Ben, that just sent me the friend request. Because that's what the chime was on my phone. 303 views on my MLB The Show. Never in my wildest dreams. Okay. Here, I'll go ahead and let me go ahead. I'll accept it right now. Because I can accept it from my phone. So I'll go ahead and accept it right now. So probably in about 20 minutes or so, you'll see me online. You'll see me playing Knockout League. There, I just accepted it. Excuse me. So you'll see me in about 20 minutes playing Knockout League. Like I said, I got to get that cardio and have fun while I'm doing it. Like right now, I'm fighting that octopus on Knockout League, and he is tough. The fighters start out pretty easy, and they get tougher. And they have different fighting styles. Like I had just beat this pirate on a Knockout League, and he had a sword in one hand and it had a hook on the other one. And so whenever he threw punches at me, you couldn't block him because you would still get hit. You had to move out of the way and then counter him. You're away from the station. Ah, okay, okay. But I did accept their request. And even if you got a cell phone and you check the friends list, like I said, in about 20 minutes, half hour from now or something like that, you're gonna see me on the PlayStation playing um Knockout League. And like I said, that is so convenient. With the auto spell, yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, I'll be jumping on this knockout league, and like I said, in 12 minutes or less, I'll burn enough calories that is the equivalent of walking on a treadmill for 45 minutes. And and since you're having fun doing it, those 12 minutes go super quick. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm gassed though. I'm gasping for air when I'm done, but but it burns those calories. And slowly but surely, between the cardio and the diet, slowly but surely it's coming back. You know, I still look decent, but we gotta look better. Okay. Yeah, you sent it from the phone, Ben. Yeah, I accepted it from the phone. Now I admit the Xbox does have one app that's better than the PlayStation. They have an app called Xbox Beta. And what I do like about that is it works like the regular Xbox app, but the difference with the Xbox Beta app is that if somebody, you don't have to be on your Xbox. If somebody sends you a party chat invite, you can accept the invite from the phone app, and you can join the party app from your phone. So I do like that. I really wish that PlayStation would do something like that because um a lot of times, you know, all of us at the round table, we have discussions off air. You know, a lot of us get into a PlayStation chat room. We talk about what we think is going to be, you know, what the topics are going to be on the next round table podcast. We talk about a lot of other things, but sometimes I'm not there, you know, so I would love for them to put that app on the phone so I can jump in it. I really hope they do. So that's one of the few features that Xbox has that is better than PlayStation. I do really like that app. Only thing is that I don't talk to my friends that much over on the Xbox because they are watching Netflix and Hulu and shit like that. It's crazy. Um on any given day, I'll have 15 friends online on the Xbox, and only about four of them are playing games. And then over on the PlayStation side, it's the other way around. I got about 15 friends online, and about 10 or 11 of them are playing games. So they play games on the PlayStation. They watch Hulu and Netflix over on the Xbox. I mean, shit. The 6 or 7. What's that? Oh, okay. Oh, you talking about the with the friends. Skip Bayless, I do not think okay. Skip Bayless, I do not really think that the Xbox One X well, the Xbox One is a weak console, but I don't I ain't gonna say it's trash. Some games still do look good on there. What Microsoft is doing with the console is what's making it trash. They just don't have any exclusives over there. I mean, the last exclusive that had me tuned into my Xbox was Gears of War 4. After that game phased out with me, um, I had lost interest in, messing around with my Xbox. And any games that I had on there, anything that I have on there besides Gears of War 4, I have those games either because my friend said, let's all get this game, or I caught it on sale. Amy Khan, I don't have one single platinum trophy. You go through and look at my trophies. I think I got about 600 trophies, not a single platinum. As far as that goes, I think I don't know, I think I might only have 6 gold trophies. Never even came close. One of the biggest reasons why I don't have a platinum trophy is because I don't finish a lot of these games. And then take games like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I did finish that game. But I played it on the normal level because I wanted to see the story play out. I'm a person that with these single player games, I like the story to play out as if I'm watching a movie. So I don't play games on the hardest difficulty because I don't want to get stuck at a certain point doing it over and over again. I want to, to me, uh, given where I'm coming from, how old I am, and how I've watched video games evolve. To me, when I was young, when you beat a boss, the following cutscene was the reward for beating a boss. I mean, um, going all the way back to the original PlayStation, the PS1, the Tekken game that was on there. When you beat the boss at the end of the game, whichever character you beat the boss with, you would see a cutscene of that character giving you a little bit of a backstory about him. That was the reward to me. And so saying it's still kind of the same thing, getting past the boss or a hard part in the game and then seeing the cutscene after that and see it play out like a movie. That's the reward to me. That's one of the reasons why I love stories driven games so much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited for Gears of War. No, I like stuck on crushing. Um I don't complete a lot of games. Uh, I can I can say that the only games that I know for a fact that I'm going to finish, I know that I'm going to finish God of War no matter what. I know I'm going to finish Detroit Become Human no matter what. I know I'm going to finish Spider-Man no matter what. I know I'm going to finish The Last of Us no matter what. I know I'm going to finish Days Gone no matter what. That's crazy. All the games that I know for a fact that I'm going to finish are Sony exclusives. I don't think Spider-Man is going to be a letdown. I don't think the story's going to be a letdown. I think the only way that game's going to be a letdown is if they feel like the gameplay is shitty. But they showed some gameplay, and it looks like there's some parts of the game where you can use the environment. I mean, you seen that part where he swung that crane around and hit that dude in the head with it. I don't think Spider-Man is going to be a letdown. I think Neo was the game that I was curious about. It's one of those games that I'm probably gonna have to catch it, when it's on sale. Same thing with Yakuza 6. I've said that a number of times. That's a game that I'm really interested in. But unfortunately, the game comes out 3 days before God of War does. So I don't want to drop $60 for Yakuza 6 and then drop another 60 or even 100 for God of War for the deluxe edition or whatever. Yeah, Insomniac's pretty good. But as everybody pretty much knows, Sony has talented developers, and they give them freedom to try other projects. Whereas Microsoft is handcuffing their developers, and that's why a lot of them left. Microsoft didn't give them freedom to try other stuff. Ghost of Tsushima. That's another game that I am going to play from front to back. Um, the one game that I believe I will finish, but it's kind of an odd game, is that Death Stranding. All the crazy hidden messages, within those trailers and stuff like that. So that's probably I'm not gonna lie, that's a game that I am going to buy Death Stranding, but I can't say how long it'll take me to finish the game because I just don't know how crazy of a game it's gonna be. Yeah, as far as Spider-Man goes, I'm led to believe that, well, obviously the game is done if we're gonna get a release date tomorrow. I'm led to believe that the game has been done for a while, that they just probably needed to talk it over and find out when was the best time to release the game, because, there's still other games to worry about besides all the exclusives that's coming out for the PlayStation. There's still, the Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I think that's Black Ops 3, whichever one of those games, Call of Duties, is coming out this year. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 is also coming out this year. I never played God of War before. Um, but I knew I wanted it. The first time I saw that trailer when Kratos threw that axe and it came back to him, I knew it right then and there that I wanted the game. I'm really big into Norse mythology, and and then in the comic books, Thor is my favorite superhero. And so when he threw that axe and it came back to him, the first thing hit my head was Mjolnir. That's the name of Thor's hammer, and it came back to him. And then to find out that he is in the Norse realm for whatever his quest is, made it all the more of a day one purchase with me. Oh yeah, that combat. And then the thing about that combat is when you throw that axe, you don't have to make the axe come back immediately. You can, when you battle in the trolls and shit like that, when you get them directly in line, when you get them in your line of sight, then you can call the axe back so the axe can take them out as it's coming back to you. So yeah, that's sick. I've been a big fan of the Batman Arkham games. Hmm. I know that was a rumor for a while in God of War, whether Thor would make a cameo in that game. Um, I don't think so, but it would be nice, especially in this God of War. The same minions that forged Kratos' axe also forged Thor's hammer. So that's what had me wondering if Thor would make a cameo in this game. Not to mention, when you come to a realm, a mythology, when you come, when you're not from a realm and you come in there, a lot of times you might be met by that realm's strongest god. So, like, in the Greek mythology, if you up there tearing up shit, near Mount Olympus or something like that, chances are Hercules is going to come out and see you. If you go into Norse mythology and fucking up shit anywhere near Asgard, Thor is definitely coming to see you. The thing with Batman, what I like about Batman ain't got nothing to do with the 86 million gadgets. It's his attitude. I mean, he don't kill people, but he walks that fine line. Because when he beats these dudes' asses, I've seen comics where he where he's dislocated people's shoulder, broke their fingers, all kinds of shit. Um, so I love his attitude, but when you look at it from a realistic standpoint, just how angry would you be if your parents was murdered right in front of you? Not only that, what I like about Batman is his methods of interrogation. He won't hesitate to grab a dude by one leg and hang him over the side of the building and threaten to drop him if he don't talk, even though we know he won't drop him, but he'll still scare him into, thinking he gonna drop him. So that's what I definitely like about Batman. He's um he kind of rough with them thugs. The Pro versus the X is the version of Batman versus Superman. Well, if Batman is supposed to be the Pro, well, he's got plenty of kryptonite, and Superman don't want to come nowhere near him. So yeah, the Arkham games is definitely lit. That last one I did not play it. When you get in the Batmobile and it moves in all different directions and shit like that, instead of driving straight ahead like a normal car, it felt like I was in a damn pinball machine, and it kind of turned me off a little bit. But I'll get around to it. I did buy the game. I bought the game for two reasons. It was on sale at the PlayStation Store. I bought it for $8, and it was PS4 Pro enhanced. So I definitely like the first two Arkham cities. Well, the Arkham City and now the first one I believe was Arkham Asylum. The second one was Arkham City with Dr. Hugo Strange. Yeah, Arkham City was a good one. Um, I'm not a remastered person, but there's actually a few games I wouldn't mind seeing get remastered. Um, the original Red Dead Redemption, that's one of the games I wouldn't mind seeing get remastered. It's it's a real old game. But the original Shenmue that was on the Sega Dreamcast, I'd like to see that game get remastered. And that's another day one purchase. That's another day one purchase for me. Shenmue 3. That's another game that I'm picking up the day it releases because I absolutely love the first two Shenmue games. What else would I like to see get remastered? I wouldn't mind. I probably wouldn't mind seeing one of the Fight Night games get remastered if they're not going to come out with a new one. And that, unfortunately, Ben, that's one of the things about me is being that I like seeing games play out like a movie. Once I play the game, it's not very often that I'll go back and play it a second time. I think Mafia 3 was probably the last game that I went back and played a second time. Which is where I got my name from, the Lincoln Clay name from the Mafia 3 game. I love that game. Yes, the a lot of the shit was repetitive. You know, Ben, the Fight Night VR thing, I would I would absolutely love to see that happen. But even if someone wanted to do it right now, I don't think it would be if they were to use the move controllers, I don't think it would be possible. The Any game on the PlayStation VR where you're moving around, but you have the move controllers in your hand, teleportation is the method of travel. And I don't think you could have a boxing game where you're teleporting all over the place. You got to have full locomotion. So if they wanted to make if they wanted to go all out like that and make a fight night game in VR, they would have to omit the move controllers because it would make the game impossible. I think it would be a game that would only be playable through the DualShock 4 controller. But fear not, Sony is working on a controller. They got a patent for it. They are working on what appears to be a new move controller for the next generation VR. It is a handheld controller with a thumbstick, and I guess this controller is pressure sensitive, so it responds to how hard you squeeze it. Now, Emmy Khan, the Vietnam mission, unfortunately, I played Mafia 3. I played that game through twice. And the DLC, I have bought all the DLC to those games. Now, when you talk about the Vietnam mission, I'm not sure if you're referring to the guy that John Donovan, fought alongside with in Vietnam, or if it was an actual mission going back to Vietnam. Because I know I was working on that mission where it turns out that the guy he fought in Vietnam with was in town causing shit. So they was going after him. That's where I left off at on Mafia 3. But unfortunately, again, it's one of those games that I wasn't able to finish because something else got my attention. And I'll be playing MLB The Show and GT Sport right up until God of War releases. When God of War releases, I don't think I'm going to be playing anything else until I finish that game. So he went back to Vietnam. Lincoln Clay went back to Vietnam in that game. I never had any issues with Mafia 3 on the PS4 Pro. It was definitely a game that see, I already had Mafia 3 before the PS4 Pro came out. I bought the PS4 Pro the day 2. I didn't buy it the day it released. I can't remember why. I got hung up somehow, but I got up early in the morning and went and bought it the next morning because I bought my 4K TV like 2 months before I got my PS4 Pro because I didn't want to have to drop, $1,700-$1,800 all at once. So I bought my TV a couple of months before I bought the Pro. When I did get the Pro, Ratchet and Clank was the first game that I saw on the PS4 Pro because it was a free game that came with the Pro, and it looked like a Disney Pixar movie. It looked incredible. And then I popped in Mafia 3, and I definitely noticed the difference with the naked eye. It was definitely cleaner. Yeah, and I definitely like that soundtrack in Mafia 3 too. I like all those old cuts from the 60s and stuff like that. A lot of those songs came out right around the time that I was born, but I still, heard them as I grew up, and they're still classics. Yeah, if you're gonna grab Mafia 3, the game been out this long that I would not pay $60 for it. It's a good game. I'm just one of those people that, I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game that's been out for a year or something like that. More than likely, no, the game is not going to cost $60. Probably more realistically, the game is probably 30, maybe $40. Or whatever pounds you want to call it, where you at. But I would say check the PlayStation Store frequently because Mafia 3 is definitely one of the games that keeps turning up on sale. I think one of the reasons why the game keeps coming up on sale is because they want to keep trying to sell that DLC. Or buy the season pass, and that'll get you all the DLCs. I've seen it on sale at the PlayStation Store several times, Emicon. I've seen it on sale at the PlayStation Store 3 or 4 times. I don't think you'll ever see it cheaper than $20, but I've seen it get there a few times. If you don't mind having the physical disc, Newegg is a good place to check. Maybe Amazon's a good place to check. I bought Mass Effect Andromeda for Newegg for $10. And the thing about it is, I bought this game about 2.5 months ago, and I haven't opened it yet. Still sitting there in the wrapper. I played the game. I rented it once. Yeah, it just didn't really fly with me that much. But when the game, turned up again for $10, I couldn't pass it up. Even if I don't have any intentions on playing it, the game was definitely worth $10. It is a game that is PS4 Pro enhanced. I don't know if it supported HDR when it first came out, though. Holy smokes. Well, sex, however you pronounce it, CEX, is your answer to GameStop. I hope they don't have shady practices like GameStop. GameStop definitely be on some bullshit here. Hey, that's what's up. Got 5 likes, 6 people watching. If you're in here and you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. It's cheap, huh? I don't know what it is with the video game industry these days, but when a game first comes out, after the buzz seems to wear off about the game, and I think sales start to take a nosedive, it seems like games come up on sale. Games can come up on sale easily, within a month after it gets released. The one game that went on sale that surprised me how fast it went on sale was like Star Wars Battlefront 2. That game was on sale within a month after it got released. But I mean, it was obvious why, because of the loot crate shit that was going on with EA and stuff like that. But even still, basically EA made promises to their investors of how much money they thought they would be able to get them from sales of Battlefront 2. And when they had to backtrack on the loot crate shit, because they had to backtrack on the loot crate shit, I thought because of that the game would not go on sale for a while. But I think I should I get mugged right off in there. Yeah, getting back to that Battlefront thing, I think that game is gone as far as it's going to go. I think EA pretty much told their investors that they were projecting that like within a certain time to sell like 14 million copies. And I think right now they might be sitting at like 9 or 10. So they're well short of their goal. But despite all the crazy shit that had going on with Star Wars Battlefront, I guess EA still, made a ton of money off of microtransactions. And I think I saw something earlier this year that I think yeah, with Shadow Award dropping the loot boxes. See, I found that out today when I got out of work, but everybody is saying the same thing. It's too little, too late. They dropped the microtransactions well after everybody's done playing the game. Even I don't have any intentions of buying the game. Even if they did remove the microtransactions, because I bought Shadow of Mordor and I barely started it. I probably played about 45 minutes of that game and stopped playing it. I mean, it was another one of those games. The reason why I bought it is because it was PS4 Pro enhanced and it was on sale at the PlayStation Store for like $6. So I couldn't pass it up. But like I said, I started the game, played it for about 45 minutes, haven't even touched it. So I've got about 150 games on my PlayStation, including all the VR games that I have, and I can count on one hand how many games I finished. I don't even think I'm halfway through Horizon Zero Dawn. So it doesn't I don't think it makes I like certain types of games, and medieval games I'm kind of so about that. I might like one but might not like the next. And Shadow of Mordor was a good game. I think the combat system on that game was similar to a Batman Arkham. I did like that part of it, but I don't know. I guess the game just couldn't keep me tuned in. Yeah, I'm on the same Ben. I'm on the same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Um, I don't even think I'm halfway through it. But it is another one of those games. It is a gorgeous game. The colors are vibrant. At the time that it came out, I think it might have been the best looking game on the PlayStation. Um, I rented it the first time, but I ended up buying it on sale for like 15 bucks. So, oh yeah, another one of those games that's in my backlog. I'll get to it sooner or later. Yeah, The Witcher 3. That's another one of those games that I seen it on sale several times at the PlayStation store for like 20 bucks. I really wanted to buy it, but I knew deep down in my heart I wouldn't have finished it, so I didn't see any point in buying it. You play for about an hour or so. And that's the other thing. I could easily go to like some games that I know I'm not going to finish. Sometimes I'll go to YouTube and watch other people's videos where they made a playthrough video where they pieced the whole thing together to make it look like an entire movie. So sometimes I'll go and watch those on games that I know that I'm not going to finish, but I'm going to try not to do that with Horizon Zero Dawn because I do want to finish that game. I ended up doing that with Red Dead Redemption because I like all those damn side missions and shit like that. Plus, I liked when it came out, I liked the online multiplayer. So I never got around to finishing the campaign. So I ended up having to go watch it on YouTube so I can get filled in on the story to help me get ready for Red Dead Redemption 2. Nah, the God of War, no, I'm not going back to the previous ones. I never played them, and I have no intentions of playing the previous ones. Um, because this Kratos that we looking at now, um, I click with that Kratos. You know, a little more conservative, a little more reserved. Um, looks like he doesn't get violent unless he has to, and that's a mentality that resonates with me. I'm a type of person that given my physical build, yeah, I could go around and start a lot of fights if I wanted to, but that's the last thing that I try to do. I don't, I won't fight unless I absolutely have to. At my age, I'm really laid back. Cooler heads prevail. Exactly. I'm definitely feeling this Kratos now. So this Kratos right now, this in this game, he strikes me as a type of person that he's not gonna start any shit, but he's definitely gonna finish it. Holy smokes. Have you seen the motion capture of for some of the God of War? Now, like exactly. I saw a motion capture video of one of the scenes they were shooting for God of War. And first of all, the voice of Kratos, I didn't know it was a black dude. But the kid, Atreus, I guess the motion capture, the person that's playing Atreus actually looks like him. Just not with all the scars and shit like that, but it actually looks like him. Yeah, I never knew that. That took me by surprise. But they showed a little bit of behind the scenes stuff on that mocap video. Um look like they had some fun, acting for the game. You will Kratos' voice for your message tone. That'd be cool. Well, I know I said I was gonna get going about a half an hour ago. I know I got to get going now because if I don't get going pretty soon, all the stuff that I have planned for the rest of the day is not going to get done. Um, Now I don't want to have to choose between sacrificing either my cardio workout or going to get these groceries. So I need to get going so I can get those taken care of because again in less than 2 hours, we have the roundtable podcast. And I will be there on time, rain, sleet, or snow. So with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to hit the road. Um if you can catch it, if anybody can catch the roundtable podcast live, make sure you do that. I know we're going to have a lot of good topics to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to shoot for us streaming at 8 o'clock Eastern time. There's a very well possibility it might not actually take off until 8:30. But if you are subscribed to King Thrash, you will get the notification once we go live. So it's always a good time in the roundtable podcast. Check that out. Also, I'm not sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow, but I am going to try to get a confirmation of my planned guest to make sure he can make it on Thursday. If he can make it on Thursday, you definitely don't want to miss my podcast on Thursday. It is definitely going to be a good one like the previous two. Xbox Video and Gunru Gaming, they were excellent guests. And I expect this one won't be any different. It is going to be a great show. So make sure you catch that Thursday. So, it's a 99% chance that I think he'll come on the show. Just, I just got to talk to him tonight. So make sure you don't miss it. With that being said, also, as I said, I'm also a regular on Sick Humor TV. I'm also a regular on his PlayStation Plus podcast that comes on Sunday. I want to say around noon Eastern time. Make sure you check that out. We talk mostly PlayStation, and we try to stay away from the Xbox side of that. We try to talk about, a lot of positive stuff, a lot of the games that we're excited about that's coming up. So make sure you check out the PlayStation Plus podcast noon on Sundays because I'm a regular there. And so with that being said, I think it's time to shut it down and get everything ready so I can get on the Roundtable podcast this evening. So for those of you that's going to come to the Roundtable podcast, make sure you leave a comment, say what's up to me, say hi. I'll definitely catch y'all in there. And I'll be watching the comment section from the podcast so I can try to interact with people who comments in the comment section. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch y'all tonight. Yep. Peace out, Ben. Peace out, Emmy. Everybody else, thanks for watching. If you happen to catch the replay, thanks a lot. I appreciate that too. For those who coming in and watching the replay, make sure you give it a like. I really appreciate it. And that's going to do it for me. I will catch everybody later. This is your boy, Lincoln Clay. I am out.